Welcome to the 1-year anniversary of the ENS DAO and the 0-year birthday of the FTX capitulation to Binance, King of the Thrones. And and we also have American political election day on this fine November 8th, 2022. I'm lucky enough to be here by Gweiman.eth, 184.eth. We are rocking it out. We are keeping it alive. We are bringing it to you in a live stream to all of our viewers, talking about what's going on in crypto and what's happening here in the space. And we're with Ish too.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
What is up, everybody? How are you guys doing? Welcome to Minting Coins, the show where we're talking about Web3, keeping it real.
Doing
How
good,
you guys
man.
doing on the ENS anniversary, FTX disaster, American election day? Who's in America and who voted?
I'm in America. I don't know if you guys can hear me. I didn't really get to run a mic check. Can you hear me good?
Mic check. I can hear you.
All right, awesome. Yeah, man, I'm in America. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't make it out to vote. I was caught up in the markets.
Big news day. Yeah, you don't have to dox. Nobody has to dox. Don't worry about that. I'm from Mars. I live on Mars.
Yes, sir. Though U.S. over here. Nice to see you guys, man. Nice to put a face to a lot of you guys.
I was just thinking that. Good to see you all.
Yes, sir.
184. Good to see you. I know it's late where you are.
Yeah, it's quite lucky. I had a call back home. My family's in Australia, so this has worked out well.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, let's see here. Present, share screen. I'm still getting used to my whole setup here, and still getting used to a lot of how this is going. But yeah, minting coins. We have our Patreon up and running. mintingcoins.com. You can check us out on our website. We are getting the Patreon going. We're going to get a membership going. We are creating all sorts of interesting pieces of content, putting things together. So encourage everybody to subscribe to the channel. Follow us on Twitter, Minting Coins, Gary Palmer Jr. And there's just a lot we can go over, but before we go over all that, let's just do a quick round of introductions, just so anybody who doesn't know can know who you guys are, and then we can talk about some events of the day. How's that sound?
Sounds like a good time.
All right, cool. Gweiman, you want to go first?
Yeah. So, Gweiman.eth here. I think a lot of people from Twitter know me, but the thing is, the world is a lot bigger than Twitter. So for you guys that don't know me, I am Gweiman.eth. I'm a young ENS enthusiast, and I do what I can to spread the word on ENS and help educate on it. And I am a friend of everyone you see here. I like to think that we're all buddies, and I'm just happy to be here, man. Thank you for having me.
Very cool. 184.
Hi, I've been in crypto since 2017. ENS got into pretty early and passionate about that, and drank the Kool-Aid on Ethereum and blockchain. My parents named me 184.eth.
That's cool. That's cool. You're able to actually get your actual birth name.
Yeah. Not too many get to do that, man. I wish my parents were that cool.
Yeah. And Ish.
Yeah, sorry guys, I was having some technical issues with my headphone, but I'm live. I'm good now. Yeah, what was the question? I apologize. I just got back on.
We're just doing the round of introductions, so we're just saying who you are and who are you?
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, I go by Ishmilly, crypto addict, been in crypto since 2017. I've been a domainer since 2020. Kind of like caught that bug very hard during the pandemic. And when I discovered ENS on crypto Twitter, I was very excited because I saw a lot of similarities with regular domaining, and got caught on with the 999 Club, FOMO'd in or aped in. Did the same with the 100K Club and the 10K Club, and just been fully actively involved with the whole ENS community, and it's been fun.
Really cool. And real quick, I mean, is it okay to give I know you in particular, you might have a product or a service or something. Is that something you want to talk about, or and just give a shout out real quick, or no?
Yeah, would love to. Yeah, I also founded what's called the Digital Real Estate Academy, where we teach people how to be profitable domainers. And we just launched the NFT project today, of all days, which is a bloodbath Tuesday. Right? So we just got everything set up on OpenSea, and it gives people a chance to sort of like, cover the full scope of domaining, whether it's Web 2 or Web 3. It's all inclusive. And the intent is to bring in experts to dive in a little deeper and share hacks and strategies, and overall just assist people that are in the community move towards being profitable in domaining, because it is a very lucrative science or art, depending on how you look at it. And with the right guidance of people who've been doing it for decades with DNS, you could be very profitable, and you could decide to take those profits and acquire more ENS names or whatever you choose to do. But I'm an advocate of domaining, and I believe that if you're gonna go to war, you want to go with as many weapons as possible. So yeah, I'm trying to help people understand that you're already doing domaining. If you're an ENS, why not expand your scope a little bit? And you have that deep-rooted experience in domaining, in DNS, doing this exact same thing that .eth folk are doing, but you have that exact same experience for some number of years doing that with .coms and working with real professionals who have been doing this for decades, or am I getting that right? Yeah, I have some of the best mentors. One of them is Ryan Colby, who sold $75 million worth of domain names. Bruce Berger's another one who does very well. I'm not trying to quantify how much it makes, but he buys names of expired names. Every day, 90,000 names expire. And he sort of like carved a niche out of helping professionals get more visibility online with the right domain names. And I've also been very involved with NFTs in general. I own 4 Bored Apes, a Mutant Ape, and thousands of NFTs. But I believe ENS are the best NFTs because of the utility behind them and the growing features, right? So unfortunately, we're still very early, or fortunately, we're still very early, depending on how you look at it. And I feel like a lot of people are sort of frustrated because their bags aren't pumping, and no one has really set out to give people sort of like a guided mechanism towards being profitable. A lot of people are knee deep in a learning curve, and it gets very expensive and time consuming. So I'm just trying to be a catalyst for change and help a couple of hundred people become more profitable. I've done very well flipping conventional Web 2 domain names. The margins are ridiculous, and as ENS matures, it'll be very helpful for people to, tap into that as well.
Yeah, that's very cool. Definitely excited to see that as that comes out, and to learn more about that. I've been hearing you talk a lot about that in all these spaces, so I'm just looking forward to learning more from you. Someone that's, I'm not a professional per se, right? But I do consider myself a domainer, and lightly, right? And
Right.
seeing what's happening in ENS, plus the magic of let me pull my hands above the mic here. Web3, decentralization, immutability, the magic of freedom. If people can hold on to it. But the very realness of ENS as a utility, but also as an NFT, is just it's like Bitcoin is the money. Bitcoin is like, oh, I get it. It's kind of like money, but it's completely different, right, than any money we've ever known. And ENS, it's like domain names, but it's completely different from anything we've ever known. And I just know that at least I believe, I can't say that I know, but I believe that these similarities are so strong that we shouldn't be learning anything really new. We should be continuing to learn from the teachers and the people who have proven success, right? Like, for example, $75 million in domain name sales. I would call that proven success.
Correct.
And
correct.
And then
that's not me, by the way. That's Ryan Colby, who's one of the instructors for DRE Academy. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, those are still, it's all, it sounds cool to me. You know what I mean? And I hang out with a lot of these folks too on Clubhouse, Clubhouse Spaces and Twitter Spaces, and recently blocked by Rick Schwartz, but I think I got caught up in one of the mass reckonings. I liked the wrong tweet. But hopefully we can get that fixed.
He's allowing people to reapply, I believe. Reapply, quote unquote. Rick Schwartz is someone I actually adore. I met him, and I did an interview with him. It's on YouTube. It's called Meet Rick Schwartz. He's had a lot of success.
I watched it.
Yeah, he's had a lot of success. And one of the highlights in that conversation was when he spoke about acquiring porno.com for $42,000 and exiting at 8.89 and making over $10 million in traffic while he held that asset. It was very inspiring for me to hear that, because prior to that, I'd heard so much about the Domain King. So I seeked him out and I found him and went to his house and interviewed him. And I can understand the resistance to ENS because it's very comfortable. He's at the top of the hierarchy with conventional domains. And that change is he's not motivated to change, right? And I don't think the world is motivated to change as fast. I think, .coms are still very valid, and they're still the kings when it comes to domains. And like you mentioned in a prior conversation, DNS is ENS. And I think the more people are aware of that, the better for everyone. But the reality is we're still very early, and it's a lot of this stuff people are using their imagination, and people struggle seeing a world where there's a .eth and it's promised, and the functionality that's promised with .eth manifesting. A lot of people are skeptical, especially because they're comfortable with .com. They want the world to remain the way it is. I had a sort of like a spot with Rick Schwartz on Clubhouse once when he said .com was king, and I was like, well, I think social media is king. And I think, if you ask a teenager, they'll tell you TikTok is king, right? So I think, there's enough space for all of us to adapt different changes in technology. And for those of us that want to stay with the way things are, that's understandable. It's like when the cell phone came out, people didn't embrace it easily. It causes cancer, it's bad reception, and where are the lines now?
Yeah, and the thing is that with let it be Bitcoin or let it be ENS names, things are different, right? People could say ENS names are more dangerous because if you lose your keys, you lose access to your name,
right? You lose access to your NFTs. And, you know, so some of these things that people say, they might have a hint of truth, right? You know, criminals, some criminals use, you know, the internet, right? Some criminals use Twitter, right? Some criminals wear Nikes. But you know, so there's a lot of things going on there, and digital transformation is very, very hard, right? Look at Kodak. You guys know Kodak? Yeah. Kodak was a film company back in the day, you know, before, you know, like electricity really was a thing. I mean, it was and it wasn't, you know what I mean? It's, you know, it's all like analog, if you will. And the Kodak company, a lot of people don't realize, the Kodak company, they invented the digital camera. And they didn't believe in it. And they continued with film. And, you know, they just couldn't see the transformation, the digital transformation that they themselves invented. And then Blockbuster, the same thing, you know, Netflix like did a digital transformation, and, you know, and it's just, people need a, you know, and people need to realize, you know, that there's transformations that happen, you know, let it be the printing press or the internet. And, you know, one of the flaws of being a human is that, and you know, better or for worse, we get stuck in routines. We think that the way things are now, that's the way that they're always going to be. And so we're not prepared for change. We're not prepared. We don't think that the stock market can crash 20% in 1 year, right? Or crypto can crash 85, 90% in 1 year.
And for today, you know, we can go down a lot in a day. It just takes a little bit of Twitter drama.
Yeah. All right, so let me see. I gotta manage the chat. So I got a couple trolls. I don't have admins yet. But I like Moonshine Fuel. You show up all the time. You know, you're pretty cool.
I'll have to pull up the chat. I haven't seen it. I had some technical issues coming in, but I think I got it figured out.
Yeah, we're all figuring this out. You know, like I used to do this every day for a couple of years. Same studio, but I got a couple new piece of software. We're multi-streaming to multiple channels right now: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, and possibly Rumble. I haven't checked if the Rumble connection is going through.
That's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to tweet it out. I'm gonna send it to a couple people. Got to get some views in here.
Yeah, and you know what, man? I mean, yeah, it's gonna suck if you know, when I'm doing this for, you know, if I'm doing this for a year and we're not getting views, right? It's like you want to have views. You know, part of it, I have a thick skull. I just like doing stuff and I just want to do it. And I know like people are watching on the backside, and it's just like, you know, like I'm excited to put out the content, and I just, you know, like I'm trying to figure out like how do we do this? How do we connect with people in a way that's authentic and they're going to want to come back? Like, do we have to use drama? You know, like, yeah, we got to talk about the spicy stuff happening in the world.
Right.
How much, I know, versus do people want to be inspired? Do people want education? I don't know. I'm not sure where this line is, but I'm going to come out here. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to bring on smart people like you guys, cool people like you guys. And I'm hoping, like, you know, between all of our averages, you know, like we're, you know, of excellence, you know, we're gonna help people see what's cool and what's not cool.
That's just it. We just got to talk about the things that are on our mind. I think that we're involved enough. We see what goes on. I mean, I spend my life on Twitter anymore. I have a real life, but all my free time goes to Twitter because it's what I'm interested in. So I think if we just come here, talk about what we're interested in, the things that we see, we're on Twitter Spaces enough. You bring the Twitter Space content this way, and like you said, I had a good talk with Gary. It's something with the visual. Like, I think it's very cool. I can see 184. I think it's very cool. I can see Ishmilly. I've never seen you guys, but I've heard you guys. I've listened to you guys. Now I get to see you. It's that connection. I think the same thing with a lot of people that come to view it. Twitter Spaces is fun, but having that visual is a lot more fun in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
Go.
No, sorry. I just chimed in. I agree.
Yeah, and not only can we see each other, but we can also see
the screen.
Money, I get that money. I get that money. Yeah, I get that money. I get that money. Yeah, I get that money. You can't take it from me. Boy, it can get ugly. Don't play with my money.